way you act, don't say you left me too. What hurts the most comes from the past, I know that shit is true, but I still fuck with you, yeah. Murder that we wrote, blood is for the oath. We don't got no ceiling, no room for feeling. Bodies hit the floor, don't want no smoke. She love the thrill, nothing but time to kill. She gon' ride with me, cause she gon' die with me. I don't need no help in here, and I got that 9 with me. She gon' slide with me, cause she gon' ride with me. I don't need nobody else if I got mine with me. Bad bitch gotta live. Grab her by the hair and bend her over, get a grip. When I get behind her ass, she blow me for a tip. Slip a couple hundreds in that G, I'm about to rip. Cause she know what it is, yeah. Murder that we wrote, blood is for the oath. We don't got no ceiling, no room for feeling. Bodies hit the floor, don't want no smoke. She love the thrill, nothing but time to kill. She gon' ride with me, cause she gon' die with me. I don't need no help in here, and I got that 9 with me. She gon' slide with me, cause she gon' ride with me. I don't need nobody else if I got mine with me. No need to pretend, take it off. Jesus, diving lines we about to cross. Halos are for angels, let them watch. We don't play by the rules, what's the caution? You've got a problem, yeah. Your lips are making me the topic, yeah. What's crazy when the love is toxic? Don't wanna be alone, you'd rather be an option. So I'm chilling with a villain on my shoulder. Hands her favorite necklace like a choker, yeah. Have a face down, call that poker. She my Harley Quinn and I'm a joker, yeah. She gon' ride with me, cause she gon' die with me. I don't need no help in here, and I got that 9 with me. She gon' slide with me, cause she gon' ride with me. I don't need nobody else if I got mine with me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final round of Horizon Midnight Club Tournament. Joining me today in the caster booth is an old legend of the community, someone who's probably not done a cast in quite some time. Isn't that right, Clown?
That is absolutely right. I haven't been casting in over a year, I think.
And heading into today's race, we've got an epic one for you. It's the final round of Midnight Club, a longer track, possibly more difficult cars to drive than any previous round. Although I will say the Firebird was pretty difficult to drive in round 2.
Well, for today we have 15 cars available to choose from. 6 of them are all-wheel drive cars, and 9 of them are rear-wheel drive cars. When it comes to all-wheel drive cars, we have 2006 Mitsubishi Lancer Evo at 820 PI. We have 2004 Subaru Impreza at 818 PI, 2002 Nissan Skyline GTR at 820 PI, 1999 Mitsubishi Lancer 822 PI, and Mitsubishi Eclipse GSX 814 PI, and final all-wheel drive car is 1994 Toyota Celica GT4 at 822 PI. For all these cars, we have specific rules, or rather restrictions, to what tunes drivers can run. And those are no drivetrain swaps, no engine swaps, no Forza Aero. Race weight reduction has to be applied to all cars except for the Porsche GT2. They all need to have race tires, max rear tire width. For all-wheel drive cars, they all need to have stock suspension, and for rear-wheel drive cars, it's either stock suspension or sport suspension. And one final thing is no body kit conversions on all cars except for 2000 Silvia. And when it comes to rear-wheel drive cars, we have 9 to choose from, and which are probably going to be the more popular choice among the finalists. We have 2003 Nissan Fairlady Z at 824 PI, 2002 Mazda RX-7 Spirit R at 822 PI, 2001 TVR Tuscan S at 822 PI, 2000 Nissan Silvia Spec R at 824 PI, Toyota Supra RZ 827 PI, Porsche 911 GT2 831 PI, which I remind you needs to use sport weight reduction if it's to be used in this race. And the final 3 cars are 1994 Nissan Fairlady Z 826 PI, 1992 Nissan Silvia Club K at 828 PI, and finally Honda NSX R 1992 at 822 PI.
So yeah, a lot of different cars to choose from. Just a couple things to look at. I'd imagine that the majority of the cars we won't be seeing in this race. Obviously, there are 15 cars and only 12 participants. I think the most popular option is definitely going to be the Fairlady Z. A difficult car to drive, but makes up with it with a really good top end speed. And if you can handle it, it does get through that corner, through the corners very nicely. We might also see an R34. We might see a Tuscan maybe. We possibly might see some Porsches, maybe the NSX and the Eclipse. Those are the cars to watch going into the race. But definitely eyes on the 350Z drivers, because although it is a very difficult car, probably one of the hardest on this list, it probably has the best possible one-lap pace.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's going to be the most popular choice among the finalists, which I would like to mention and shout out their names to everyone, that they are Danks, Suimin, Mars, Hexor, Bard, Viper, Sabino, Stirvitos, ICEBAN, Seppi, Bane, and CODCAOS. These guys have done 4 races so far in Run 1 and Run 2. They fought tooth and nail with I think like 40 other drivers to actually be here in the finals of Midnight Club, and I can't wait to get this show started.
Yeah, so 10 minutes out from the race, before we get started, as the drivers head on into their convoy and we get them starting that up, let's hop on over and look at a hot lap video of what we can expect to see when the drivers are running the track. So, driver here in question is, as you can see on the top right of your screen, ESV Suimin. A long straight is what we have off of the start, so any cars which have high acceleration and good launch should have a massive advantage off the start of this race. So breaking out wide on that curb to the left-hand side, you want to carry as much speed as possible, coasting it in, a bit of trail braking, then not touching that curb on the inside, but getting as tight as possible. You want to carry your speed through here, very important coming into the braking zone. Now, late on the brakes on the outside, you want to rotate the car, carry that speed through the corner. Try not to touch the inside curb right there, as you see him getting very close, but not actually touching it, and avoiding the bus stop on the outside there on the right. Coming down the hill, not too wide on the entry right there. You don't want to clip that curb, and then avoiding going fully over that curb on the left, else you can get spat out. 350Z running stock suspension, so not as difficult over the curbs as some of the other cars. Now getting in nice and tight here, not hitting the blocks on the left-hand side. They will slow you down. We head down the hill, avoiding clipping these fences on the left-hand side. You do have to be so careful about the track limits here. You can go to a full stop if you do touch these iron fences right here. They are very heavy. Now, dodging the first curb if you can, and then fully over the second curb. The all-wheel drive cars will go fully over both curbs right here. And then there's 2 lines in here. Suimin goes for the inside line, but you can also go for a wide entry onto that, focusing on an exit. That is a switchback opportunity right there. Crossing this checkpoint, low 27s is a very good lap right here. And coming up the hill, you want to maintain momentum as much as possible, using the torque of your car to carry speed up the hill. Now you're going to look for a wide entry coming into this corner. You're going to sweep that into the inside, dodging that bench right there and going outside of this pole, carrying as much speed as possible, and then quickly jumping over this bump and heading down into the final section right here. Braking on the outside, you can use the curb on some cars it will be worse, and getting a nice line through here. You're going to try and carry as much speed as possible and coast the car through. There are 2 lines here again, inside line and outside line. Suimin going for the full inside line here. And then finally, through the last corner, you want to carry as much speed, get a good exit, and we're going to go across the line. What will the time be? It is a 14.7 is what Suimin achieved. A very, very fast lap, as you can see there. Most of the cars not able to achieve that sort of pace.
Yeah, I feel like race pace will be around 2 minute 15. We might see some drivers dipping into 2:14s, but it's going to entirely depend whether they're racing on their own or if they're in the middle of the pack. I feel like turn 3, when they get unghosted, is going to be absolutely crazy, and then fast turn 4 and 5, right and then left-hander are going to be absolutely insane. Hopefully they can keep it clean. Hopefully no props is gonna get in their way and mess up the race, like we've seen in the past in the previous races when we use sit layouts and stuff. Middle part of the track looks really, really intense. I'm not sure how many overtaking spots there actually are and how many they're gonna find, but I think like a lot of the race is gonna be decided going into the turn 3 and where these guys find themselves, because overtaking will be difficult without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, overtaking is possible on the majority of these corners, actually, but it's definitely not easy anywhere. We don't have an open hairpin like you do have on those tracks like Uffington, like Horizon Northeast. You can't just send it down the inside of someone extremely easy. You do have to look for these switchback moves. You do have to sort of muscle past someone and take that inside line, or maybe hang it around the outside, and when that changes to the inside on the next corner, take them there. There aren't any easy moves, though, to be found, so it's definitely going to be quite grid-centric. If you are in a slow-starting car and you fall to the back by the time that you're unghosting through turn 3, that is going to be a big problem. And because of that, turn 1 and 2, those high-speed corners are the most important for your race. If you do not nail them on lap 1, that is going to put you in a massive disadvantage going through to the rest of the race.
Yeah, the most important thing that we have to keep in mind is that this is a high-stakes tournament, basically, because we have prize pool and people are not going to just back out of the corner and let another car pass. They're going to fight tooth and nail to keep their position or to make the overtake done. So that's going to increase, the chance of two or more drivers colliding and, being sent to back of the grid if they miss checkpoint or something like that. So that's going to be really intense to watch.
Yeah, I mean, and just a reminder, first place gets $150, second place will get $100, third place $75, fourth place $50, and fifth place will get $25. The rest of the drivers will not receive anything for their placement in this race, so it is very top-centric right here. You do want to be in the top 5 in both races. There will be 2 heats. The points will be done as previous rounds on the free-for-all points system as you would find in normal Horizon, and then the player with the highest amount of points at the end will be crowned the winner. If there is a tie on points, it will be decided by, first of all, highest finishing position, and second of all, by their overall blueprint time. If there is a tie for some reason on overall blueprint time, then we will refer to the fastest lap. But that seems like a very unlikely sort of situation coming in there.
Yeah, we've actually seen some points tiebreakers already with CODCAOS in the last round, in the second round, if I'm not mistaken, where he just barely managed to get into top 12 by having a fastest lap, if I'm not mistaken, or it was something like that. So
yeah, his blueprint time was faster than Okaran, but
yeah.
I mean, it's just an example right there of even though in this round the 350Z probably the fastest car coming in, if you do make mistakes with it, it can really bite you, and that's what happened to CODCAOS in that round. He came in with not much practice, using the Firebird, which was probably the fastest car, but also one of the most difficult to drive, and he just touched the wall a couple times, and that put him towards the back of the field in one of the races and almost knocked him out of the tournament.
Yeah, I feel like previous rounds don't really matter. Like, it doesn't matter if you won both races and had 40 points, or if you barely got into the final round with 13 points. Because as we've seen, like, for example, in round 1, in one of the groups where ICEBAN won both races pretty, convincingly, he was not able to capitalize as much in the second round, where he barely qualified for this finals round with 20 points. So this is going to be completely different. I feel like most of these drivers have a good shot at winning the race, or at least, finishing in top 5 positions. So it's honestly hard to call like who might actually have the most, the biggest chances to actually win this and take the main prize pool home.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to say. I mean, Danks has been performing well throughout the tournament, Mars as well, Suimin. ICEBAN even had in round 1 in his heat, he got first place in both races, and I believe that was a heat which had a lot of other fast drivers in. I think Tom and CODCAOS were in that race. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, he's always someone on the outside of the points to look at maybe snatching a podium in a couple of these races. Hexor, of course, Bard, Viper, Sabino, Seppi, Bane, CODCAOS. I mean, even the slowest drivers in this race would normally be looked at as race winners in any normal team was. So the quality of competition here is really high, and any small mistake is going to put you right to the back of the field.
Yeah, definitely. I do kind of feel sorry that Jumpy was not able to make it to the final round because of not one, but 2 disconnects. That was really rough, but that's also something to keep in mind for these guys who may not be on pace, you know. Sometimes disconnect happen. Maybe the driver who's faster hits a prop or something. You know, you can never give up in a race like this. So we'll see how that turns out.
Right, just making sure all of our streams are working. Looks like the drivers are getting into convoy right now. We do have multiple POVs. No stream for Viper at the moment, so we'll move him to the far right over here. That is ICEBAN stream and Tom's stream. So looks like everyone is doing great at the moment. We'll hop on board with Bard for the moment to listen to his audio. So, looks like a 350Z for Bard right here. We do have 12 people in the convoy, so 2 minutes, and they will be starting off the event. Looks like everyone is there on time, which is always nice to see in a Horizon Team Wars event.
Oh, definitely. Unfortunately, it doesn't always happen. And usually, even when we have 12 people ready to go, something happens with the server, something happens with the convoy, and race doesn't really start, or like, not everyone gets in. Hopefully that's not going to be the case here. It will be very, very nice to actually start on time in the final round of Midnight Club.
Nope. Okay. Twitch didn't like that. I guess having many Twitch streams open is not recommended.
What about their car choices? I wonder if they're all in the cars they plan to drive, or they are like throwing fakes, you know, trying to fool their competition.
It looks like we got mostly 350Z. We do have Hexor in the Porsche.
Any all-wheel drive cars? Nothing I can see on stream right now.
Viper said he was going to be in the R34, but he has switched to the Nissan.
Oh, he switched to the Nissan? Was that like the last possible moment? I hope he got enough practice with that, though.
I mean, if he comes into this race and he misses like 5 checkpoints after switching to that car in the last second.
Yeah.
We see the political messaging right there on Mars's car. Free Nalak, of course. A popular socio-economic movement right now in the Team Wars community.
He'll be free in a few weeks, and that's okay.
So hopefully they can get started, actually. Because I'm pretty sure they should be ready to go.
Yeah, everyone's in the convoy.
Oh, there we go.
Ready?
So we will, as usual, be hopping on board with someone in the mid-pack, hopefully someone towards the back of the field, and the fastest person that we know of there will get you the best point of view as we possibly can to get some good racing coming into these first 2 laps. As Clam mentioned earlier, turn 3 is going to be a doozy. That's when the unghosting happens, and that's when it's all going to kick off.
Oh man, I feel like we won't even have to cast the start of this race, like how intense it's going to be. I feel like this is going to be really, really great.
Just go at 900 words per minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good point. Suimin has been getting some big rigs on the grid.
Oh yeah, he had first and third yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, in Sus versus GRT race in Legends Cup. But as he said himself, like he would prefer to actually start lower down the grid. So let's see if that's gonna happen today.
Well, I don't know if that's necessarily true in this race, Clam.
Yeah, I mean, there's prize pool on the line.
I mean, number 3 is always the gentleman driver until there are stakes at hand.
And that's fair. That's fair. That's completely fair. Everyone's loading in.
Damn, look at these mods. So many mods in this channel, and none of them have set up a poll for who people think will win. Imagine that, Clam.
The problem is that you can only choose 2 options. It's kind of hard.
Two
to
options?
actually do.
I swear you could do multiple choice.
I didn't find that, unfortunately.
Sad times. So looking at the grid, we got Tom in first place, ICEBAN, ViperSerpent, Hexor, Bard, Suimin in the middle, Dank, Seppi, Mars, CODCAOS, Bane, and Sabino. We're going to hop on board with Mars right here off the race start as he is towards the back of the field. Let's see how he gets on. Mostly fair ADZs coming into this race. We do have 1 Porsche and 1 Eclipse to break him up.
Here we go. First race of the final day of Midnight Club has begun.
Okay, Mars getting a pretty decent start. Let's see how this goes. Looks like everyone pretty much has just been poaching the Bard tune. And we see the straight line speed right here of the 350Z very key. But there we go, Hexor losing the back end a bit in that Porsche. And Mars having a nice run through here. That's going to be massively beneficial. And look at him picking up positions right there. ViperSerpent hitting props on the... And there's the unghosting right there. 3 wide into turn 3.
There's people wide everywhere. Like, it's insane.
Oh! I think that was Danks right there. Lost the back end of his car, getting bumped from behind. And that promotes Mars up into 4th position.
But this is the tricky part as well. Going side by side here is really difficult. It looks like everyone made it, actually. Everyone's within 3 seconds after the first 5 corners.
Yeah, we're going to hop on board with Bard. Bard coming out pretty badly. Oh, gets dived down the inside right there. I think that was ViperSerpent right there who made that move. There's an absolute gaggle of cars right here. And they're going side by side. There's a D-Sync. Danks gets pushed. CODCAOS coming through the inside. There's 3 wide going into this section. What are they going to do? Bard hanging around the outside, but that's going to switch back to the inside. Contact between a couple of the cars over the bump right here. Maintains his position and manages to keep ahead of CODCAOS up ahead. Tom still in first position with ICEBAN, Suimin, Mars. Then there's Seppi in his all-wheel drive car. Then Hexor, Bard, CODCAOS, Danks, Bane Driving, Sabino, and ViperSerpent rounding out the honor. There's still only 5 seconds separating first to last place in this first lap.
Yeah, looks like the CODCAOS went really wide into one of those corners, and he lost a few places. Right now he's down to 9th, together with Danks in 10th. I spoke to Danks quickly before the race. He said he's not up to pace, so I'm not sure if he's going to be actually making a lot of places in this one.
There we go, that's the straight line speed difference right here, but the Porsche later on the brakes. Hexor cuts across, keeps his position right there. Bard, probably one of the fastest drivers in this race. He needs to keep that going right now, but we're going to hop back on board with Mars right here. Mars hunting down onto the leaders right now. And it looks like we got Tom, ICEBAN, Suimin, and Mars all within 1 second right now on the road.
And Bard is overtaking Hector on the straight. Oh no. That Porsche is not looking fast on the straight, unfortunately.
Yeah, the Porsche definitely a handling car. NSX Porsche and Tuscan, you know, they can get into the 14s, but they don't have the straight line speed, which is probably why the Nissan is such a good pick. Right here, looking down the inside. Bard makes the move. Is it going to be switched back? No, he covers it off. Brakes on the apex. Nice move from him right now. So that makes it the order of Tom, then Suimin, and then Bard, the top 3.
I'm watching Bane's stream. There's 5 cars battling for 8th, 9th, and 10th. That's insane. Like, they're all together. If you could switch to that once the action dies on Bard's stream.
We are on board with Bane's stream right now. The contrast is so high. And Danks gets punted by ViperSerpent right there. Danks just going off into the wall. I don't know whether that was a punt or whether that was him hitting the curb on the inside. That can be dangerous. Bane goes around the outside of him right there, and that is Sabino, CODCAOS, and ViperSerpent in a battle right now, so close to each other on track. I don't know if we have a POV right there, but I don't really want to switch away. I think we do on ViperSerpent, though. So we're going to hop over onto ViperSerpent's stream. Yep, ViperSerpent. It looks like Sabino's trying to go down the inside of him. He's desperately defending his position right here. He has been slipping back through this race. CODCAOS now ahead of him. CODCAOS looking to head to fight up to the front guys. ICEBAN actually still managing to stay with the leaders right now, so he's doing a really good job. Seppi and Hexor just acting as the roadblocks right now, and Bard actually behind Hexor once again, so it looks like Hexor got him in the handling section.
Yeah, it actually looks like Mars got ahead of ICEBAN, because Mars was in 4th place, if I'm not mistaken.
Mars got past him on turn 3, hit for a dive down the inside.
Oh yeah.
Viper looking very uncomfortable right here. Doesn't look like he's put a huge amount of practice into the 350Z, losing the back end in his high-speed corners. And he's under attack from Sabino right now.
Yeah, and they're still battling all over the place. Like, Hexor is making a move on a Bard, but he's gonna overtake him before the start-finish line, and he's gonna lose that position within a few seconds anyway. And he's gonna have to go again in the next lap.
Yeah, that really just does showcase the strength of having the power. So much easier to make a move in a straight line, and often why we don't see these handling builds perform especially well in the race. Looks like this battle is quieted down towards the back. We're going to hop back on board with the race leaders, see how that's shaking out at the moment. They still seem very close on track. Let's have a look at how that's going.
3 cars within 1 second. That's amazing. But Tommy's still keeping his 3rd position.
Oh, Mars hits the bus stop.
Yeah, I mean, he lost like half a second there. Not that much though.
Yeah, all of these drivers going so close to the walls right there. You saw the precision that's required to drive this track to the absolute limits. As they attempt to get a turn in right here. None of the drivers going for props on the outside, so nice exit for all of them.
Just looking
Mars,
down the order,
as usual.
like,
all music, no HUD on his stream.
classic. This is why I don't like watching his point of view, because I'm not sure what's happening behind him, and that's kind of annoying, you know.
Yeah, just let me know if anything's going down right now, but it looks like Suimin is very racy right now against Steer with Toes. That is Tom up in the lead right now, but does look to be under attack from the 2 drivers behind him.
It looks like things have calmed down for the most part, but I'm watching Danks trying to make a move on Viper for 9th place. They're right within 0.1 second of each other, and they're fighting.
I would swap off, but it looks like there might be a change of the lead right now. Suimin is right behind Tom. It's like 1/10 of a second.
He doesn't have him into this corner. It looks like Danks finally made the move on ViperSerpent, very late braking, and he doesn't keep the position. That's incredible. They keep changing places. Corner after corner. That's a really close fight right there.
ViperSerpent still ahead. Do we have a POV on Suimin?
I do not think so.
We do not.
We have Tom's, but that's not going to really tell us much.
Yeah, so Mars currently the best POV to watch this fight for the lead. Remember, in the free-for-all point system, the top 6 positions are the ones you want to look out for. If you finish in the top 6, there's a massive point swing than if you're finishing down lower. The difference between 7th and 11th is the same as the difference between 1st and 2nd.
Yeah, at the moment it kind of looks like the top 3 drivers are like getting away from the rest of the field. ICEBAN is kind of keeping up, but he's falling behind every single lap. And Seppi is not able to
Suimin
catch
looking
him
down the
either.
inside. He doesn't quite make the move happen though. Suimin right on the back of Tom right now. He does not want to allow this win to slip from his fingers. He got a pretty decent grid starting in the mid-pack, so he wanted to make it happen.
It's on lap 4 out of 12, so he just needs to be patient and wait for maybe a mistake from Tom. But with money on the line,
Mars is pretty close behind.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you want to wait too long though. Mars definitely keeping up. They're all 3 within 1 second again. It kind of looks like Tom is slowing Suimin down a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that. Suimin able to keep right behind Tom, and that pressure does put you off. And Tom actually goes through a prop right there, going to lose a massive amount of speed, going wide through that corner, and Suimin is able to take the position, and he goes up into 1st.
Thank you, Twitch purple screen. I was not able to see that. Is Mars still behind him? I think he is. Yeah.
Yeah, Mars is still behind, but Tom looking like he's very under pressure right now. Having these faster drivers right next to you on track can be so dangerous, and he goes into the wall. However, he does slow down Mars behind.
Yeah, Mars was just too quick, too close to him to capitalize on that little mistake. That's unfortunate. But it does look like Mars has better pace than Tom. So it's only a matter of time before he's gonna get ahead and go after Suimin in first place.
Yeah, this is such a hard car to drive though, and Tom almost going into the wall. That should give Mars the run right now. Mars is gonna have better momentum. He's gonna throw it down the inside. Can he keep the position though? Parks it on the apex, make the move stick. Nice little dive bomb, same that he did to ICEBAN right there. Mars takes the position, Mars up into second.
Kind of surprised how Tom just basically left the door open. He didn't even try to cover it. But I guess he realized he doesn't have the pace, you know, to keep him behind for too long. Was possibly even just losing time by doing that.
And actually, ICEBAN is still in this battle.
Yeah. He's only 1 second behind Tom right now. It looks like Bard is catching up to Seppi a little by little. He's a little over a second behind him right now.
Yeah, Sabino and Bane at the back are fighting away. Do we have Hexor's POV? Hexor is pretty close to CODCAOS. Oh, that's the wrong button. Thank you, Twitch. Okay, there we go.
He's always getting closer to CODCAOS, you know, through all these corners and stuff, but then he loses time on the straight, so...
Yeah, but I mean...
I'm not exactly sure.
The pace is not being maximized right now. People have done 15.1 in the Porsche, so there's still 1.5 seconds of pace still to sort of extract from it.
Looking out at all of these POVs we have from 215 all the way up to 217 right now. So there's still pace to be found for these guys.
So it actually looks like Mars is not getting away from Tom, so we're going to hop back on board with Tom.
Yeah, Tom is still like keeping the pressure on Mars. Mars is unable to actually catch Suimin, and he's losing time. ICEBAN is not able.
Tom's stream is not alive.
Really? I'm watching right now.
It just seems to be freezing every like 2 seconds.
That's strange.
Unfortunate.
That is strange. Well, I will let you know if there's anything happening there.
So instead, we'll hop on board with Thankful Bard.
Yeah, I was about to say, he is closing the gap to Seppi. This is a fight for 5th place, and we have to keep in mind only top 5 drivers will actually win money from this event. So the stakes are really high right here.
Yeah, I mean, Bard and CODCAOS both look to be attacking forwards onto Seppi. Seppi going to try and hold everyone off. He is in that roadblock mobile right there, the Eclipse, so fast accelerating to 120 miles per hour and so much traction in these corners. However, it can be very difficult to deal with the fact that these Nissans have amazing straight line speed.
I'm just looking at Tom. He doesn't look like he's able to keep up with Mars anymore, and ICEBAN is actually getting closer to him. We are done with 6 laps to go. I'm honestly not sure if Tom can keep 3rd place unless he improves his pace.
Yeah, Tom coming in does have an exam in a couple days' time, so hasn't had that much time to practice. Was originally going to drive the NSX, but I believe he switched to the Nissan last second. So doing a pretty good job for himself, all that given.
I mean, he kept Suimin behind for 4 laps, so that's a great achievement. And then another lap with Mars. He just needs to put his head down and drive his own race at the moment, and not make any bigger mistakes like he did when he was in front of Mars, which eventually cost him the position. ViperSerpent is under attack by Sabino at the moment.
Oh, I think Bane must have missed a checkpoint. Bane's now in last place. Oh, ICEBAN goes into the wall. That is huge. ICEBAN falling down the order. That is going to send him down to a 7th or 8th position right there.
Hexor is right behind. Oh, that's unfortunate. He had a really good control race in 4th place. even attacking for third possibly, and now he's down to 7th position. That is unfortunate.
Yeah, and that is the danger of this car. One mistake, we saw it from Tom, and we've seen it now from ICEBAN to varying degrees. You just get on power a little bit too early, and this thing will really snap on you, especially over these curves. But that is the risk that you pay for when you're going for absolute pace.
Yep, and Bard is within a few tenths of Seppi right now.
Yeah, we are on board with Bard. Looking at this battle, it looks like Seppi seems to have decent pace through the corners, but again, it is on this straight where the 350Z shines.
Oh, he gets so close, going into the corners. But he's too far right now to make a move. Still 5 laps to go though, so plenty of time to get closer and figure out where exactly he wants to overtake Seppi.
Yeah, Seppi having a bit of issues on brakes. This is where
Sabino.
Bard really...
Something happened to Sabino. He just ran wide, hit the building, and both Viper and Bane are ahead of him now. That looked like he just looked away for a second or something.
Yeah, he could have also got the thing where your car just stops turning randomly.
Oh, that
that is a bug.
Kind of like that. Oh, Bane is struggling. He hit the curb, and he's down to 12th again.
But yeah, Bard really showing one of his strengths as a driver. The trail braking in compared to Seppi. He just manages to close so much up to him. Every single braking zone. Just able to get that turn in.
Someone we haven't talked a lot about is CODCAOS, who's in 6th position right now and only 1 second behind Bard. So if something were to happen between Seppi and Bard, CODCAOS is right there, to take the 4th place. So yeah, definitely a driver to keep an eye on.
CODCAOS and Bard, definitely probably one of the fastest drivers on track, both of those guys right now. Got a lot of pace in them. Bard with a 15.4, which is a very good lap. The Eclipse can do a 15.3, 15.2 lap time, maybe a 15.1. So it can stay up there with Bard's best laps, but you do have to be so perfect with your driving in order to get those times. So we'll see if Seppi manages to hold him off. If he does, that is a massive Herculean effort.
Looks like Mars is actually catching up to Suimin. He just gained 2 tenths. It's almost down to a second. So battle for first might not be over just yet. As we are
Mars
on
and Suimin got the pace of the field this race.
And Tom is still keeping up with them, kinda. Like he's not falling behind that much. So if one of them misses a checkpoint, hits the building or something, they're not that far ahead yet to be safe.
I mean, a missed checkpoint could throw them back to even 6th place, depending on the length of the rewind.
Yep. Fairly even grid so far, to be honest.
Oh, and Bard under braking. Almost puts his nose in there. That was an inspired move, but backs out of it. Thinks, you know what? I've got some time. I don't need to overcommit to this.
Yep. Bard definitely looks racy to me. And he's definitely got to make a move before the race ends.
That actually has given CODCAOS time to catch up. CODCAOS only under a second behind Bard right now. Looks about 7 tenths.
Yeah, CODCAOS did a great job keeping out of all the trouble early on. I believe at one moment he was pushed wide, lost a few places, but he came back from that and not making any mistakes, having a great pace. He's still in the run for like top 4 positions right here.
I mean, the advantage of this Eclipse that you can see right here is that out of the corners, it just accelerates to 120 so quickly. See that even though Bard was practically side by side with Seppi going into one of the corners in the mid-map, this last section he was just shooting away. And that means CODCAOS is right behind Bard.
Yeah, Bard only did to 16.0 if I'm not mistaken. So he can definitely go faster than that, but he's unable.
Meanwhile, up at the front,
maintain that pace.
Mr. Mars has gotten very close.
But you know how they say, one thing is to close the gap, another thing is to overtake. As Bard gets so close to Seppi again.
Okay, that is not quite as close as I thought it was from the timing screens. 9/10 of a second is not quite as close as Bard is right now to Seppi.
One tiny little mistake for Seppi could mean he loses 2 places. He needs to be very careful going through this section. Not to hit any
Bard had a
drop
really good
here.
exit there, though. He could be struggling coming into the next corner. Let's see how Seppi manages to defend. We know that Bard is so strong on the brakes right here. Does he throw it down the inside? Nope, thinks better of it. Bides his time.
He still has time, 3 laps to go. No need to force anything just yet.
But all of this has brought CODCAOS into the fray. There's an equal gap now between Seppi, Bard, and CODCAOS.
I think he's just patiently waiting and closing the gap.
And every position here is a 4-point swing, so this is massive. Oh, but Seppi hits a pole. That does cost you 2 to 3 miles per hour of speed. He could be attacked under the brakes right here. Does Bard go for the move? Not quite. Oh, and CODCAOS even touches the back of Bard's car. It's all heating up right now.
I feel like CODCAOS might make the move on Bard before Bard does on Seppi. Like, it looks like CODCAOS has better pace right now.
But I think that the Eclipse is very weak in turn 1 and 2. We'll see how Seppi manages to get through. If he has a bad turn 1 and 2, he could have get double overtaken here, if I can speak. Oh, but no, Seppi does that very nicely right there.
Look at CODCAOS though.
Does Bard defend?
He doesn't.
Oh!
The problem.
No, not quite able to make it happen.
Unfortunately
So
for
close.
CODCAOS. But he tried. Doesn't get any bonus points for that though. He'll have to go again.
Bard having a pretty good turn 4 and 5 right there. Let's see how he manages to do turn 6. Ooh, does go through 1 prop, so that's going to hurt his speed out of the corner a little bit. It does seem like CODCAOS has got the pace right now. CODCAOS running consistent low 15s.
Yeah, this definitely looks like the stream to be on at the moment. Although Mars is within 8/10 of Suimin. So that's actually heating up as well. Battle for first place and 20 points.
Let me know if that gets any closer up at the front. That is equally as important as right here. Remember, in the top 6, a single position gained or lost apart from first and second is worth 4 points. It's a 4-point swing. You gain 2, the other person loses 2. As we see, CODCAOS actually has room for a move right now. He's going down the inside of Bard. Bard late on the brakes. He's going to hang it around the outside. CODCAOS clips through the props, so that's going to hurt his speed through here. Bard maintaining his inside line. CODCAOS going for the switchback. Does he have the speed on the exit? Not quite able to do it. Bard defending his position just about.
This is great racing.
Oh, but he looks behind himself, and as he looks behind, he just drives through a couple of props.
Oh, this is not good. This is not good for Bard.
But he does manage to he manages to keep ahead. He goes to the right-hand side of the track to avoid letting the slipstream happen. So, a bit of a cerebral move there from Bard.
Yeah, but it does go to show that he's kind of nervous when he's looking back more than looking forward, you know?
Yeah, we do know Bard, incredibly fast driver, but sometimes has struggled in the past. If he can't overtake someone, he does tend to make those mistakes. We've seen it in Clio Cup when he was behind Connie for a number of reasons, but... Oh, and Bard goes very wide. That's going to let CODCAOS down the inside. And there it is. I think CODCAOS should be able to consolidate the position right here. So CODCAOS making the move happen up into 5th place, keeping himself in contention.
Let's see if CODCAOS can take on Seppi now with only a lap and a half to go. Bard was unable to do it for like 8 laps, I think.
Oh, and CODCAOS goes straight around the inside in that corner. So risky, but he's going squirming all over the track right there. Lots of contact between those
Rubbing his race.
And once again, Seppi accelerates away.
Yeah, Seppi is gone.
He's showing us that the all-wheel drive master race is still prevalent within Horizon. Even if you're half a second off on absolute raw pace, you can still keep your position.
Meanwhile, just to give an update on the rest of the grid, there haven't been really any position changes so far. Hexter is kind of stuck behind ICEBAN and he's unable to overtake him or even get close enough to attempt an overtake. Danks is running alone in 9th, Sabino 10th, Viper 11th, and Bane 12th. So I feel like those 5-6 racers are kind of out of it based on the race 1. And, you know, this kind of sets the tone of who might actually take one of those top 5 places that are part of the prize pool.
Yeah, and CODCAOS, obviously one of the favorites coming into the tournament. He needs to make this pass on Seppi happen. He looks down the inside, going to go side by side through this high-speed corner. That's going to slow them both down. If they do this badly, it means that Bard could overtake both of them coming into turn 3.
But they managed to survive that. Yep.
CODCAOS looking round the outside, a ballsy move, but that leaves the indoor. Oh, Bard not quite able to put his car there. CODCAOS squirming on the exit. It's so close between these 3 drivers.
Seppi, the biggest roadblock confirmed. He's holding on to that 4th place.
Oh, no. Seppi goes so wide! COD looking down the inside, but Seppi looks to block, but he can't quite make it happen. Forces COD very... And Seppi goes for the switchback! Seppi on the outside right here. Can he manage to do it? COD very tight through this corner. Doesn't touch the props right there. And Bard is coming through on Seppi as well.
No way. On the final lap. Seppi lost 2 positions, it seems.
Oh, Seppi losing 2 positions on the final lap to his own mistake.
Oh.
But no, he cuts through. He wants it. He's going for the switchback line. Can he make the switchback happen? No, he makes contact with the back of Bard's car. But the Eclipse acceleration, is it enough? No, it's not. And so that is it. Seppi falling back to 6th position. I don't think he'll be able to get Bard on the brakes, but he needs to hope for some kind of mistake. In the meantime, Bard, he's got a couple corners left to go. Does he try and go super hard? Does he look for that 4th position? CODCAOS hits the pole! CODCAOS hits the pole! And Bard goes past him!
That is insane.
CODCAOS and Seppi, they're side by side behind. I don't think we have a POV on that, but it looks like CODCAOS was able to defend his position. Luckily for him, he didn't lose his position. So close between the 2 drivers. Accelerating out the last corner. Who won that fight? They were side by side in the last corner.
Seppi!
It was Seppi! Seppi did it!
Wow. That
Seppi
one
with an absolute worldie of a last lap, giving us all the content we could ever ask for.
Oh my god. What was that by CODCAOS though? Like...
Oh god, he had it in the bag.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he looked behind or something and didn't see the pole because, like, I mean, that's a pretty big pole. Let's be honest. Oh my god. What a race.
Wow, and that is only the first of 2 races, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
Okay. What a race 1. So many things to talk about there.
Wow. But yeah, mad props to Suimin for winning the race. Mars keeping up with him, 2nd place. Only 2 drivers to go into 2:minute 14 second lap times. With Mars actually being just tiny little bit faster and claiming the fastest lap of the race. 2:14.8. Wow.
Yeah, so Mars and Suimin 1-2, and that means that if Suimin gets a bad grid in the next race, it's going to be about blueprint time if they go 1-2 again. because they are the fastest guys on track.
And that's a big difference, honestly. Like 5 seconds to third place driver, 12 seconds to fourth place driver. You know, like that's why every race matters. Oof.
Right, and let's put in some points right now. Allow me to go and swap us over to the results screen. If I can tab into where have we got it? Here we are. So if you could read off the results, Clam, I'll input them into here.
Yeah. Suimin first.
Suimin in first. No, that's not first.
Mars
there
second.
we go. Second.
Tom third.
Tom
Bard
able
fourth.
to keep his third position, so that's good for Tom.
Bard in fourth. Seppi in fifth.
Yep, Seppi in fifth position.
CODCAOS sixth. ICEBAN seventh.
ICEBAN had a very unlucky race as well.
Yep. Hexer in eighth. Unable to get past ICEBAN for like 6 laps at least. Danks in ninth. Sabino was 10th. ViperSerpent 11th.
And Bane in 12th. Okay.
Yes.
So let me quickly reorder things. Sort range by column D. Actually, no, column E. Z to A. There we go. So, Suimin leading the way, but lots of drivers still in contention. Everyone back to ICEBAN and Hexor. I think, you know, the bottom 3 guys are probably out of it at this point. Sabino, Viper, Bane. I don't think they'll be able to get top 5 overall, but even Danks and Hexor, if they manage to come away with a win or a second place, they could find themselves in the top 5. It all does come round to what people do in this last race.
Yeah, it kind of looks like Suimin and Mars are going to be fighting for the first place, and then there's like 7 more drivers who are going to be fighting for 3rd to 5th. So that's going to make it for a very exciting second race. I kind of wish there were like 3 races, even. Why does it have to end? And what a way to send off Forza Horizon 4 Teamworks competitive scene. Like, this is just amazing. Yesterday's race was intense, action-packed, great racing, great battles. Today's race has been absolutely amazing. Those first few laps were so intense. And all the way until the checkered flag at the end, we had battles all over the track. Just incredible.
I hope we get a recording of what happened between Seppi and CODCAOS there, because I saw them on the map. They were side by side going through the last corner.
I wonder if Seppi Xboxed CODCAOS.
I think it was the acceleration of that eclipse. I think it was just enough.
Wow. Incredible.
T-Fuller says in the chat, the real question is why doesn't Playground Games support their top players and use them to bring in a wider audience? And, well, good news on that front. Nothing to particularly announce right now, but I can tell you for certain that Playground Games are taking a larger interest in the competitive community. We are doing our best to create a relationship with the developers and make this sort of more viable long term as a competitive community. And fingers crossed for Forza Horizon 5 that things are going to get much better, and we're really excited to announce all of those changes later on. So let's head back onto the mainstream. It looks like everyone's back in the convoy, and we are ready to go into the next race whenever the drivers are all ready to go. So that's just up to them. As long as they're all ready, we can head on into what will personally be my final cast of Forza Horizon 4, and possibly the last big tournament race. There will be a couple team wars going on, I think, next weekend. But yeah, it's been a fun ride. Ups and downs, lots of disconnects, but worthwhile.
Yeah, but when you get races like this, it's all forgotten, all forgiven.
Exactly. In what other game can you race around Edinburgh in in clapped out cars that you've customized yourself?
Final 12 laps of Midnight Club are about to commence. I hope everyone's ready for this. Can't wait to see
Also,
the grid.
massive shout out to Joe for all his help in the server room. Preventing any DCs. He's manually connected all of these players, actually. So everyone in chat should thank Joe.
Are they all gonna get in?
Looks like everyone...
Might be a good time to refresh all the streams, I think.
has varying levels of delay.
Here we go. Final race of Midnight Club.
Oh, and CODCAOS starting almost at the back. Seppi right there as well. And Suimin up at the front. Oh no.
Again.
Suimin grids.
Mars in 8th place. Oh boy.
Right, who can we hop on board with? Hexor. Hexor, you must have the content. You do have this. As Hexor watches everyone with their straight line speed fly past him. It's got to be demoralizing.
Yeah, for sure. Turn 1, turn 2. Here we go.
Into the unghosting Sabino. Seppi, Hexor, side by side. And going into the first corner, late on the brakes, that Porsche definitely great under braking. Side by side with Tom. Tom on the outside. Tom's not going to be able to keep that position, so Hexor finds himself up into 5th momentarily, but Tom with the power puts him back on and takes the position back. Meanwhile, up at the front, Danks and Suimin fighting. Danks, he has a chance right here. If he wins this race, he's back in the top 5, but he has to keep past what many consider the Forza Horizon 4 greatest of all time, ESV Suimin. Hexor with an absolutely crazy move. I think he just sent someone into a wall. No,
Bart
he's still
is just
there.
getting beaten right now. Bart is... Oh my god.
Beleza.
He is getting hit from all possible angles at the moment. Dropped down to 9th.
Oh, and Bard can see the most demoralizing sight possible in front of him. It's Seppi, the back end of Seppi's car, which has haunted him for the entirety of last race, and he's back.
Not again. Oh, this race is shaping up to be amazing. As Dax is still ahead of Suimin in 1st place. But he doesn't have the pace, that's the main problem. He does not have the pace to actually stay ahead of Suimin for too long, in my opinion. Which might give Mars a chance
for content.
Yeah, definitely.
See Seppi at the high end. As Hexor's car, it just can't do it. Oh, but Hexor goes into the back of Seppi. But that actually helps him.
Oh my god, there's so much context.
Wait, was that Mars? Yeah, Mars! Mars is back in 7th. Or was he behind? I can't even keep track of it. I think that was Sabino who got punted out.
Yeah.
Oh, so Bard, Mars, and CODCAOS are the ones who are trying to move through the field, but they are stuck behind the great roadblock of Seppi, the all-wheel drive Eclipse, with all of the acceleration in the world.
And Tom once again in 4th place, holding his own. Not the fastest driver on the track, still consistent. Fast enough to be up there.
And ICEBAN as well, up in 3rd position.
Yep. ICEBAN keeping up with Dax.
Oh, actually, thankful Bard letting Mars through. Oh, and Mars rewards him with that nicety. He's getting the bus stop and fucking up Bard.
Oh no.
Oh no. And that's the last time Bard ever let someone through.
But this is not great. Mars is 4 seconds behind 1st place, and he needs a miracle here, because he needs to beat Suimin on track to force a tiebreaker. when it comes to points. And even then, I'm not sure if he has enough, you know, race time to beat Suimin.
But we do know that there is a lot of history between these two players, Danks and Suimin. Recently, many team wars have been fighting each other on track, and it hasn't been one-sided, I'll say that much. Danks has gotten the better of Suimin on at least one occasion, so it's entirely possible that we could see that remain pretty stagnant. And right now, ICEBAN is actually right behind Suimin. So that is still going on right there.
Yeah, they're within 1 second.
But this is really the key battle. It's all about Mars, Bard, and CODCAOS. What are they able to do right here? Because, I mean, as much as we imagine that that's going to go on as a battle, I think that it's fairly likely that Suimin does get through. But Mars and Bard and CODCAOS, they need to get through before that happens.
Yeah.
They need to get up into 3rd and 4th position.
I usually like to say there's still time left, you know, it's a 2nd, 3rd lap, but in a situation like this, they need to push through right now. Like, they have to give it all. Because there's not much to lose, honestly, if the situation stays like this.
Well, I mean, they still get the rewards for coming 2nd and 3rd.
That is true.
As things stand, I think it'll be Tom who gets 2nd place if Mars stays in this position, so he's got to keep an eye out for that. But Seppi goes through the bus stop right there. That's going to give Mars the run. Can Mars make the move?
I'm watching ICEBAN right now, and Suimin is not exactly able to put pressure on Danks. Like, he's keeping up with him, but he's not, you know, like on his rear bumper. Kind of interesting to see. It's also possible that Suimin is not pushing too hard right now, because he doesn't have to risk anything at the moment. Seppi is still in 5th place, right in front of Mars. And Bard is still in this. Bard definitely getting a lot of racing done today.
Mars throws it down the inside of Seppi right there. Big contact between the two of them, but Seppi keeps his position. The Eclipse with the acceleration. But Mars is looking around the outside. Can he manage to hang it? Bard's right behind too. This could be a double overtake, but you never know.
Careful.
Oh, and they're 3 wide. Can Bard take the inside? No, Seppi defends it. Bard tries to go around the outside. Oh, and contact between them. They concertina up into the braking zone. A little bit of bumping, stock car stuff, but Seppi looks like he's going to try and do exactly what he did to CODCAOS. Uses that acceleration of the Eclipse, but Bard got a very good exit out of the corner. I don't think he's going to be able to defend this. Bard already knows. Don't bother with staying on the same side of the road. And he makes his pass. Yep. So Bard past Seppi.
Yeah, both Mars and Bard up to 5th and 6th at the moment. Next up the road is Tom in 4th place. Danks is doing a
coming
great
back
job.
at him. Seppi is coming back at him.
Wait.
Oh, but he can't make it happen.
Yeah, he can't. He's too far. Send it. But well, I was about to say that Danks is doing a great job for Mars and Bard at the moment, keeping Suimin at bay. But Suimin is getting closer now. Only 2 tenths separate them. We can watch the action from ICEBAN's POE.
So on board now with ICEBAN. I'll take a little bit of a drink so that my throat lasts until lap 12.
Yeah, I mean, we're already on lap 4. So this is going by pretty fast, honestly. Oh, Suimin is so close.
Bumping right there. Suimin practically pushing Danks through these corners.
Yeah, he wants that 1st place. He wants to secure his victory in Midnight Club.
But if he goes too aggressive and ICEBAN gets ahead, then it could all be for naught.
Right now, still able to keep up.
about a 5-second gap back to Mars, and Mars catching up to Tom right now. Tom, once again, sort of sitting around the mid-pack, having a nice chill time. Seems to have kept his nose clean for the most part in these two races.
Yeah. He's doing a great job.
Oh.
The pace he has.
Suimin! He defends the inside, but Suimin goes more inside. Can he hang it? It's late on the brakes! Danks goes too wide! And Suimin's through.
Yeah, I don't see Danks coming back from this. Very unlikely. Unless Suimin makes a mistake.
It doesn't look like that's the case. ICEBAN actually with a 2:15.2. Lovely lap from him.
Yeah, he's definitely on pace this race. I mean, he had decent pace in race 1, but he hit the building, if I'm not mistaken. And that compromised his race entirely.
Oh, but Danks is actually coming back at Suimin right now.
Looking at the gaps right now, Mars is not exactly catching up to Tom. Like, the distance is still more than 2 seconds between them.
Tom has actually caught up to leaders by 6/10 on that last lap.
Yeah, all that battling between Danks and Suimin got him closer. But I don't see him making any more places here unless ICEBAN makes a mistake. He will have to defend against Mars, who looks like 0.2 a lap faster than Tom, if even that. Meanwhile, CODCAOS down in 8th place, has another quiet race. We'll see if he will be involved in any battles later on.
ViperSerpent has actually gone back to go for his R34.
Oh no. That's...
Oh, listen to
That's
that.
not great.
Listen to that. Lovely sound. Right. So, at the moment, I mean, Mars is falling off the pace of the leaders. Tom's sort of maintaining stagnancy. CODCAOS gets past Seppi down the order.
Yeah, but he's 9 seconds behind Suimin, 2.5 seconds behind Bart. He has a lot of work to do right now. As Danks is kind of keeping up with Suimin, actually. I expected Suimin to just fly off into the distance.
Yeah, Danks had a very poor race 1, but it looks like he's managed to get a little bit of a handle on his car.
Yeah, he's pushing really hard. He desynced that building. That just goes to show you how close he was to the building. Oof.
I mean, I think Suimin just hit a 14.7 on that lap, so I don't think anyone's going to match that one.
I think he's gone, so we might have to focus on 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th place at the moment.
I mean, the big thing right now is the names of ICEBAN. We got Tom, we got Mars, we got Bug, we got CODCAOS, and Seppi. All of those guys are contesting for the upper spots, and their positioning in this race could drastically affect the position that they finish.
Mars under 2 seconds from Tom. It does look like he's gonna catch up to him, but it might take another like 4 laps at this current pace, which is not great.
With the way things are going, we might get a concertina effect. I think that Danks might get caught up by ICEBAN, who might get caught up by Tom, which might get caught up by Mars as the race goes on. Because I think each driver has a driver behind who is currently lapping faster than them.
Yeah, that Danks said before the race that he is like 1 second off pace, which
not anymore.
Yeah, it's not as much anymore, but he definitely doesn't have the pace to keep up with Suimin. But he might have enough pace to keep ICEBAN behind and back him into Tom and Mars.
But one of Danks' strengths as a driver, and we saw it at the start of this race, when someone is behind him who is faster, he can pull pace out of somewhere, who knows, and put in some PBs during the race. I'd imagine that he's probably PB'd during that time when he was trying to keep Suimin behind, but now the gap is kind of extending away.
Just looking down the order, CODCAOS still falling behind. He doesn't look like he's gonna be able to do much this race, honestly, with Mars and Bard ahead of him. Like, unless mistakes happen here, not sure how much positions are gonna change. With like Mars going against Tom being the only obvious one at the moment.
ICEBAN seems to be keeping a pace at the very least with Danks, and I think that CODCAOS and Bard might be catching up with Mars. So the battle between 4th and 7th place and the battle between 2nd and 3rd, I think they're going to get closer as the race goes on.
But we only have 6 laps to go. Half the race is already done.
Oh, as Danks hits the butt stop, that's going to open up ICEBAN. He's going to look around the outside.
Lovely overtake.
Oh, but it could get switchbacked. Oh no, I think Danks lost the back end of his car.
He positioned great in going to that corner. On the outside of that corner, but on the inside of the next corner. So Danks had to yield. But Danks is coming back at him.
We're going to hop on board with Tom for a better view.
Yep, here we go. Mars actually 1.5 seconds behind Tom. All this battling going on right in front of Tom is not helping Tom to, to get away from Mars.
Yeah, it is helping one driver though, and that driver is ESV Suimin, who's loving this right now.
Yeah, 2.5 seconds ahead of ICEBAN. It does look like he has this in the bag at the moment. But there's still a lot to play for. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th place in this tournament is gonna come down to the last lap, it seems.
I mean, as things stand at the moment, I think that Tom and Mars might be tied on points, and I think that ICEBAN and Bard might end up tied on points.
Oh. So every position matters.
Tom getting so close to that wall! What was he doing? Oh
Wow.
my god!
That was a lovely drift, though.
I'm pretty sure he literally had a particle effect come off of the wall right there.
Yeah.
That's how close he got to it.
Mars 1 second behind.
Yeah, Mars is catching up, and Tom is waiting in the wings, and Danks is staying with ICEBAN. It's all getting very nervy right here for the top 6.
Starting a petition to extend this race to 24 laps, please.
Oh! ICEBAN! ICEBAN made a mistake! He went through some props, but he managed to keep his position, though. That's lucky.
Whew.
Oh, he went wide. Danks is going to have a bit of run on him. Danks, he's going to look around the outside, but Tom is here as well. If they go side by side in this corner, Tom can take advantage. Contact! And Tom's got the run! Tom could be looking for 2nd place!
Oh, this is so close.
Danks is back into 2nd, but Tom is holding the inside. Tom up into 3rd place. And Mars is right behind right now. Mars has entered the battle.
Oh, that curb.
Oh, Danks made a big mistake. Tom's going to go down the inside. Into the hairpin.
And Tom got 2nd place at the moment. Yep. He got the 2nd place. With Mars right behind him.
Danks is on the inside. Danks is going to take back the position right here. All 4 of the drivers. Nose to tail.
Oh, Mars has the best view of this as he's catching up to ICEBAN.
ICEBAN lost speed. He's going to dive down the inside of ICEBAN. ICEBAN, does he defend the position? No, he can't. But Mars goes down the inside of Tom as well. He hits Tom. Tom goes wide. He lets Tom back through. He knows that that was his mistake, but that's going to hurt ICEBAN. ICEBAN now at the back of this train.
What a glorious battle for 2nd place. And it only allowed Bart to actually catch up a little bit here as well. He's only 2 seconds behind this back of 4 cars.
Here we go.
Suimin 5 seconds ahead.
The train slipstream Danks. He's put an absolute worldie of an effort. He wasn't on pace in the first race, but this time he wants the second position. He wants to get into the top 5 overall. And here we go. Does he make a move right now? Does he look for it? Dive down the inside? No, he doesn't. He stays, keeps it calm, and Bard is in this battle. Keep an eye on your minimap. He's right there. Still able to make an impact on this race. Now, Mars knows he has to beat Tom on track. If Mars beats Tom on track, he beats him overall. If he loses to him, it could be a tiebreaker situation.
Good corner. Oh, this is so close. 3 drivers within 1 second on lap 9. You'll love to see it.
Oh, and here we go. Riding the curves nicely on the part of Mars. I think that Tom might have sports suspension on his tune. I don't know, but it seems like he's a little bit more firm than Mars. Mars just riding those curves a little bit nicer.
ICEBAN is falling back a little bit, with Bard only 7/10 behind him.
Yeah, and here we go. Tom is going for the inside line, and Mars makes a big mistake. He almost goes into the pole. He almost CODCAOSes himself.
CODCAOS pole.
And right now, it looks like ICEBAN is right on the back of Mars. So Mars going to be put under pressure by ICEBAN. And if ICEBAN puts him under pressure, as we've seen so many times, and goes side by side, Bard could get through. And right now, Tom is praying with all his might that that is the case. He needs to hold this position, or else Mars will take second in the tournament.
3 laps to go. 5 cars within 2 seconds, second and a half. This is amazing.
I think that Tom might be looking for a move. Nah, it's not close enough. Hop on board right now with Bard. As Bard has entered the battle. Best lap of 2:15.0. He's at the back of the train, but that doesn't mean he's not favored. He's probably the fastest guy in this train. Perhaps Mars is a bit faster, but we don't know.
Yeah, Tom's fastest lap is 2 minutes 15 seconds point 3.
Oh, ICEBAN makes a bit of a mistake. Oh, and he spins on the curb. That's going to cost him momentum. Does Bard look for a move here? Oh, he bumps him from behind a little bit. Unsettles his car. Does he look for the move? It's so close right here. Nose to tail. All of them managing to hold their positions. No one going for anything too crazy right now. They're around the hairpin section, down the hill. See who can put the power down as best as possible. And they do all manage to do that. CODCAOS a ways off this battle. Seppi as well, sort of falling off the back end. Seppi is hoping that there's a little bit of a mix-up in this position so that he can snag himself a 5th. Overall.
What's actually interesting is that as this group of drivers has been losing gap to Suimin, CODCAOS has kept his distance at 10 seconds, roughly 10 seconds for the last 5 laps. So he's driving in Suimin's pace. And he's kind of catching up to them, but I'm not sure if he can actually get into the mix with only 2 laps to go. But he is on it. He is pushing.
Okay, so CODCAOS. He does want to make a move on the last lap, maybe get some revenge for what happened to him in the last heat. But will he be able to do that? I don't know. Looks like Bard has fallen a little bit off the back of this train, so we're going to hop back on board with Mars. No, it looks like all of these drivers kind of similar distances from each other.
Yeah, Mars is actually unable to make a move on Tom, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah, it looks like it's very difficult to overtake in a train like this. Much easier to do it in a 1v1 type situation. But all of these drivers know what's on the line. None of them are going to be giving over their positions easily.
Dank still keeping the second place. Not bad for a driver who's 1 second off pace.
Yeah, if Danks can win this race, I think that Suimin will be sending him a bit of that PayPal. Activating rear gunner mode.
Final 2 laps of the Midnight Club tournament. And there's all to play for. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th place in this race, even 7th. Still in the mix. For some of that money from the prize pool, $400 prize pool. That's a reminder to everyone new tuning in.
Oh, it's so close now between the drivers. Concertinaing up in the braking zone. As you lower that speed, the gaps do get so close together. Bard, though, he has had trouble trying to overtake people on the track. Is he able to overcome his demons and get up into those top podium positions? He does have the pace. Probably 2nd fastest lap out of anyone right now. Maybe CODCAOS, maybe Suimin.
Oh, Bard is getting closer.
Looks like he can. But no, he doesn't go for the move. Bard does not go for the move on ICEBAN. He doesn't try and find the inside, and he just sort of leaves it right here. But there's not much time left in the race. It's 12 laps total, and 11 have already gone. We're on the final lap of the tournament now. Can ICEBAN defend? Can Tom defend? Can Danks maintain his 2nd position? Now is the time to show what you're made of. These are the championship laps. This is where the pressure is at its highest, and this is where the most experienced, the cold-blooded drivers will be able to find their way through. As Bard goes around the outside, side by side into turn 3. Between him and ICEBAN, who's better on the brakes? It looks like they're both the same. I think he's going to try and hang it around the outside. A couple of props right there for ICEBAN. Does he get forced out towards the bus stop? He would have, so he gives the position back and not able to make the move. ICEBAN doing the defensive work of his life, keeping Bard behind.
Yeah, ICEBAN is not giving up his position. That was some great clean racing, as clean as possible, going through those corners. But it's not over for ICEBAN just yet.
No, Bard goes down the inside right now. Bard squeezing him off on the exit. ICEBAN clips a couple of the poles, and that looks like Bard is able to get his position. I think that he's able to get enough of a gap. Will he defend to the inside? Will ICEBAN try and go for something crazy? It looks like that is still fine. So we're going to hop on board with Mars.
Tom made a mistake! Tom made a mistake!
Tom made a mistake?
Yeah, Tom went a little too wide. Oh, and Mars capitalized on that mistake and is up to 3rd place now. Oh no. Tom was riding so well
for all of this race, right until the last lap, and then he just makes one mistake, and that costs him his position, but it's not over. We saw last race, does anyone hit the pole on the outside? It's so easy to do. But Mars has a bad run. Mars has no momentum. Tom could throw it down the inside.
Is he gonna go for it? Nope.
Oh. A bit of ghosting right there. It's all going to come down to the last corner. Mars with an inside line. Tom going so close to the wall yet again. Not clipping it though. And it looks like Mars will be able to keep his position. Mars with a move on the last track. And there it is. Yeah. Across the line.
That's
all
it.
Those drivers with incredible racing. And finishing in these positions. Suimin up at the front. Followed by Danks, Mars, Tom, Bard, ICEBAN, CODCAOS, Seppi, Sabino, Hexor, ViperSerpent, and Bane Driving, rounding out the order.
Absolutely amazing final day of the tournament. We can see Suimin's dominance up there with the fastest lap of today's both races, basically, 2:14.7. And just goes to show like how you can't really get those times if you're running in the middle of the pack, like Mars did, like Bard did, like CODCAOS did as well, for some parts of the race.
Yeah, and I mean, we mentioned earlier in the race, it was, hey, it's pretty difficult for Suimin to get past Danks. Maybe Danks is a bit off the pace. He was in the first race, but no, it just turned out that Danks was putting on an absolute worldie of a performance, and he keeps Mars, Tom, Bard, ICEBAN behind him for the entire race, and he finishes in second. But what does that mean for the points?
Do you want me to read you the order they finished?
Yes.
So we can see.
Suimin came in first. I know that one. But what about the rest?
All right. So Danks second. Mars third. Tom fourth. Bard in fifth. ICEBAN in sixth place. CODCAOS seventh. Seppi in eighth place.
Oh my god, I think Seppi might. Oh, I don't think he has. Never mind.
Sabino ninth. Hexor 10th. Viper in 11th.
And Bane in 12th.
Bane
12th.
So, yes.
Oh.
Just looking at the starting grid compared to the finishing order, Mars jumped from 8th to 3rd place. CODCAOS from 11th to 7th. Unfortunately, ICEBAN dropped from 2nd to 6th. Some interesting position changes looking at this. Tom started 5th, finished 4th.
Oh, and Danks was able to do it with that second place finish. But Bard did also sneak in. So the positions as they are at the end of the tournament, winning the maximum prize was ESV Suimin. In second place was Mars. Third place was Tom. Fourth place was Bard. And fifth place was Danks. And that rounds out the cash-paying positions. However, the rest of the lobby, and this is out of 48 drivers, remember, guys. Seppi came in 6th. CODCAOS in 7th. ICEBAN in 8th. Hexor in 9th. Sabino in 10th. Viper in 11th. And Bane in 12th. CODCAOS and ICEBAN did tie for 7th and 8th, so we'll need to check to see who won out on the faster blueprint time, actually. Let me go quickly look for that. Do you have the finishing times for them in the first race, Clam?
I do somewhere. Hold on.
So ICEBAN and CODCAOS, 27:21 and 27:22 respectively in the race 2.
Just a second. All right, so you said CODCAOS and ICEBAN, right? CODCAOS, what are we looking at? Lap times or
full
total race
blueprint time?
CODCAOS, 27 minutes, 24 seconds, 0.447. ICEBAN was 7th behind him, 27 minutes, 26 seconds, 0.172.
So I think that if you add them up, the total blueprint time for CODCAOS is 1 second faster than ICEBAN, as far as I'm aware. Because ICEBAN was 1 second faster than CODCAOS in race 2.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
So close.
So close. I would just like to congratulate the Suimin for winning the Midnight Club, as well as Mars, Tom, Bard, and Danks for finishing in top 5 and getting part of the prize pool. And as they say, commiserations to other drivers who fought tooth and nail through 6 races to be here. Unfortunately, didn't make the cut for top 5, but still put up a great fight, especially Seppi in the first race. And
Seppi in the first race, Danks in the second race, really putting in the over performance right there, just like showing what they're made of on pure racecraft.
Danks from 9th place, like he was 9th in first place, in first race, and 2nd in the second race. To get the 5th place total is just amazing. I did not expect anyone from like bottom 5 to be anywhere close.
Yeah, I mean,
but
pretty much no one got DNF'd as well. Like even though the pace was so incredibly high, super high level racing.
incredible.
Right. So I think that is it for me and Clam. And for Forza Horizon 4, for solo tournaments as a whole. It's been a fun ride. That was a great way to cap it off. I'm so glad that all of you guys could join us, watching the races and joining in chat.
Thank you for inviting me, and I'll let you close the show one last time.
Without further ado, I've been Grumpy.
And I'm Clam.
Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.
Bye.